I would like to introduce Tracy Lesher-Hornby, and I'd like to thank Tracy for sharing Gordon Library with us today for this wonderful competition. Tracy, where are you? Oh, thank you.
All right, thanks, Liz. Welcome, everyone. It's very exciting to us to have this amount of activity in the library. We always enjoy sharing the space for exciting developments like this. It's my pleasure today to introduce you to Dr. John Orr, our provost, who will make a few comments. And I want to just say that our library project is included in one of the presentations here, and so we have a personal connection with one of the studies that is presented in one of the posters. And I'd also like to just say a short word about the sustainability efforts on campus. Some members of the library are very actively involved in this, but the champion on campus is Provost Orr, and we're very happy to have him here leading us today with the whole presentation on the posters. Thank you.
Thank you, Tracy. I think most of the judges are kind of hiding behind the poster boards. Yeah, it might be good if you could all come out kind of towards the lobby area of the library. Would you mind? So I can kind of introduce the judges later. There's a nice area right straight ahead of you. Would be good. I want to thank Liz, thank Tracy for the introductions. It's really heartwarming for me to see coming out of the woodwork, really, the sustainability efforts that have been a hallmark of WPI for, I think, at least 40 years when the plan was instituted, and we really implemented engineering, science, management for the good that it can do for people. That's why we're here as faculty, why most or all of you are here as students. Engineering, which happens to be my profession, really only has one function, and that's to help people. I think that's really true, and it's great to see it happening. This morning, I was over at Wellesley College. They and Olin and Babson are co-sponsoring what they call the Grand Challenges Summit, which is sponsored by the National Academy of Engineering, to promote interest in 14 next-generation grand challenges in engineering. And I didn't really have the heart to tell them we got the jump on you all by about 3 years with our great problem seminars, many of whom are represented here today. And I'll say it by way of commenting on the quality of the student work in the great problem seminars. I fell right into the trap last year at this event. I walked up to one of the posters and chatted with the students, and they told me about their project, and it was a great project. And I said at the end, "This is your IQP, right?" No, this was our great problem seminar. And certainly students are capable of doing great work at any level. And I think the primary function of faculty here is simply to set reasonable expectations. And the students will rise to them, maybe provide a little bit of mentoring here and there. And makes it a great environment. Just talking with Professor Fred Hart, who 2 years ago retired from being head of the civil engineering department, and the comment was he has a smile on his face a lot more often now that he's back teaching as a faculty member, and what fun that is, and that's really the case. So let me mention a few specifics. As Liz said, this is the second time we've done this. We expect it'll be a long-standing tradition. Really pleased by the number of students who have volunteered to present their posters. I think it's great that this also happens to be Admissions Open House Day. We see a lot of eager young prospective freshmen walking around campus with their parents, and that's great. Now, let me list a few things that have happened this year with respect to the sustainability on campus. We participate with a company called Enernoc in energy shedding so that we can help shave off the peak of the electricity load in the summer by shedding some of our load and replacing it with the emergency generator power. We created with Clark University the Institute for Energy and Sustainability, which is a freestanding not-for-profit sponsored by WPI and Clark, but also working with Quinsigamond, Worcester Technical High School, looking at everything from doing a better job of insulating the houses in Worcester through high-tech aspects like solar and fuel cells. We've doubled our recycling on campus. decreased waste, conducted a campus-wide energy audit. We've launched the Student Green Team. We've recruited 25 volunteer staffs, students and faculty and staff as eco-reps for the buildings to help each of the buildings become more sustainable, less waste. We received accolades for being one of the top performers in STARS, and that stands for Sustainability Tracking, Assessment, and Rating System, among many colleges that participated last year. You may have heard of the Green Report Card, which we've been participating in for the last 3 years. It rates independently universities on their sustainability efforts. We received last year a B+, which is an excellent grade. I won't mention what our first year's grade was, but it's great to be on an upward track there. We're really proud of these achievements. I think it was just yesterday Princeton Review announced we're one of the top green colleges they're promoting in a new publication from them. So we've always known we're green, but it's good for the rest of the world to know it. Our core mission is education, and so we have this kind of a binary aspect. We want the campus to be green and sustainable, and you can participate in that. But we also want to teach you as students how to, in your careers, practice sustainability. And I think we do a good job of interrelating the two often. Now, to get to today's poster competition, there'll be 2 winners. Each will receive a $500 prize. That's sponsored jointly by the Environmental Studies Program and Dassault SolidWorks, who's one of our main sponsors on campus for a variety of activities. So we're pleased to have that award for you. There'll be 2 prizes, one for a technological response to a problem associated with greening or sustainability, and the other for an interdisciplinary project that focuses on socio-technical dimensions of social or environmental sustainability. So wish you well. Let me introduce the judges, and if you wouldn't mind raising your hand or indicating to us who you are so everybody can recognize you as I introduce you. We have Barbara Haller, Worcester City Councilor.
Class of 83.
Excellent. Kate Toomey, another City Councilor.
Parent of graduate 2 years ago and another student that went here. So.
Great. Mary Beth Campbell, Development Program Director at Mass Clean Energy Center.
And neighbor.
Excellent. Marie Blanchard, Director of Worldwide Education and Marketing for DS SolidWorks. Marie.
Also a graduate, master's 1990.
Excellent. Fred Tomorrow, Assistant VP for Facilities. There's Fred. There's Fred. Creighton Pete, Program Coordinator and Adjunct Assistant Professor. Creighton. Kent Rissmuller, Associate Dean of the IGSD. Tom Robertson, Assistant Professor of History. Rob Kruger, Assistant Professor of the IGSD. Ingrid Shockey, Global Program Manager of the IGSD. Fred Hart, Professor of Civil Engineering. And David Gibbs. Is David here? Professor of Human Geography at the University of Hull, England, who would have been home in England were it not for the volcano. But we're glad to have him with us. So with that, let the presentations begin, and thank you all for participating.
Introduce Rob Kruger, Professor Rob Kruger of the Environmental Studies Program, and he has the honor of announcing the winners of today's events. Thank you.
Actually, my son's going to announce the winners. Well, thank you all. Thanks to everybody for putting out a really good effort for the posters presented here today. Thank you. Everybody deserves a pat on the back. There are actually going to be only 3 of you who win today, but it means there's a tie somewhere. But everybody did a really nice job, and we appreciate the efforts that you made. Before moving on to the announcements of the winners, I want to thank a few people who are sort of the unsung heroes of this. First and foremost, Liz Tomaszewski we need to give her a round of applause for her. The Environmental Studies puts up the funding, but Liz, as the Campus Sustainability Coordinator, puts in a lot of time and effort to make this a successful event. So thanks again, Liz. Carol Okamura is her assistant, and she also needs to be thanked. I don't know if Susan Wentz is still here, but Susan Wentz is the person you emailed all of your abstracts to, who organized them and sent them out, so I want to thank her. I want to again thank the library for hosting the event. It's a great location, and we really appreciate the effort that you put into letting us have this here. And finally, I want to thank Provost Orr for coming and providing us opening remarks today. Having the second highest level person in the university come and talk about sustainability and give the kind of time he did today really demonstrates WPI's commitment to sustainability in terms of your education, in terms of the things we do on campus, and really appreciate him showing up. So let's thank Provost Orr. Finally, I'd like to thank District 4 City Councilor Barbara Haller and WPI alum for coming out today. And Council at Large Kate Toomey for joining us today. So thank you. City's List is doing a lot of really interesting things around sustainability, and their presence here shows that as well. So now's the time, while I still have your attention, is for the shameless plug for the Environmental Studies program. The Environmental Studies program is one of the few Bachelor's of Arts degrees that WPI offers. It provides, everything here practically, had a social component to it. And if you're interested in understanding more broadly the social implications of your projects, consider majoring in or double majoring in environmental studies. And you can talk to my agent here if you have any interest in that. My email address is around, so thanks for sharing this place. All right, so I guess I've stalled long enough, and I would like to now announce the winners. So for the technical project, the MQPs out there, I'd like the team who worked on the ethanol from sugar beets project to come up. They won the award for the technical project, so congratulations and thank you very much. It was an outstanding project. All right, and now for the social projects. As I alluded to earlier, we have a tie. So you will split the first place prize money, and I want to invite up the feasibility of photovoltaic panels for WPI campus team to come up. And the development of a sustainable landscape architecture best practices manual. So we need speeches from the winners. Just kidding. Anyway, thank you very much. Let's have one more round of applause for the winners and for all the participants. And with that, I'll bring this to a conclusion. Thank you very much.
Hello, my name is Jason Beliveau. This is Farzan Tariq. We are up here at Niancheco and Chaolian. And for the past 4 months, we've been doing a feasibility study regarding the photovoltaization of WPI's campus. Our research has yielded that there are about 600 square feet of available roof space to us on campus. And with that available roof space, we can build various photovoltaic arrays that will number in about a 426 kilowatt system size.
Can we all gather at this end?
With our various systems, we'll be able to produce about 500 kilowatt hours per year. And by producing that energy ourselves in a clean and green way, we'll be reducing carbon emissions by about 400 tons per year, which is the equivalent of planting about 1,900 trees.
Good. My name is James Hogan, and I'm Pete Cacciatore, and we worked on developing a best practice manual for sustainable landscape architecture. The 4 of us went up to Edmonton, Alberta, to work with Stantec, a multidisciplinary civil engineering company with about 150 offices across North America. We had 9 different sustainable landscape architecture topics that we compiled the potential benefits, risks, and the various other considerations, costs, and we compiled them into a best practices manual. And we posted this best practice manual on an internal server for the Stantec in order for use of engineers to determine whether or not these practices are suitable for the projects they are currently working on.
Thank you.